What if I told you that Roman Reigns being announced as the WWE 2K25 cover star isn't just a marketing decision, it's proof of the most powerful secret contract in WWE history? What if I told you that this cover reveal exposes a conspiracy so deep, so calculated, that it explains why Roman Reigns has been untouchable for over a decade, despite massive fan backlash? Picture this: WWE executives in a boardroom, not discussing who deserves to be on the cover based on talent or popularity, but who they're contractually obligated to put there. A man so protected by legal agreements that he literally cannot fail, no matter how loud the boos get or how much the WWE Universe rejects him. Welcome to Wrestling Report, where we expose the corporate conspiracies they don't want you to see. What I'm about to reveal about Roman's secret contract will blow your mind and explain every single coincidence in his career that never made sense. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because this goes deeper than anyone realizes, and the evidence is hiding in plain sight. Let me paint you the picture of the most suspicious announcement in WWE gaming history, because the details of this 2K25 cover reveal expose a conspiracy that's been years in the making. December 2024, WWE announces Roman Reigns as the cover star for WWE 2K25, and immediately the internet explodes with confusion. Fans are asking the obvious questions: why Roman again? Why not Cody Rhodes, who actually won the championship at WrestleMania? Why not CM Punk, who had the biggest return in wrestling history? Why not Gunther, who dominated for over 600 days? But here's what's really keeping me up at night: this wasn't a creative decision based on merit, popularity, or even current storylines. This was a contractual obligation that WWE had no choice but to fulfill, regardless of fan sentiment or business logic. Sources close to the gaming industry are telling me that 2K Sports wanted a different cover star, someone more popular, more current, more representative of WWE's actual fan base. But they were overruled by WWE corporate, who cited existing agreements that made Roman the only viable option. Think about the timing. Roman just regained the UNTOUCHABLE, Netflix is launching, and suddenly he's the face of the biggest WWE video game of the year? That's not coincidence. That's a coordinated media blitz designed to reinforce his untouchable status across every platform WWE controls. The most damning evidence? Look at the cover art itself. Roman's positioned like a conquering hero, despite the fact that most of 2024 he was feuding with his own family and losing fan support. That's not reflecting reality. That's projecting an image that someone is contractually required to maintain. What if I told you that Roman Reigns signed the most powerful contract in WWE history back in 2012, and every single push, every championship reign, and every main event spot since then has been legally guaranteed, not earned? I've been digging through corporate filings, analyzing WWE's financial reports, and connecting dots that most fans completely miss. The evidence suggests that Roman's contract isn't just about money. It's about image protection, brand positioning, and guaranteed opportunities that no other wrestler has ever received. Here's what sources in the legal world are telling me: Roman's deal includes clauses that most people don't even know exist in wrestling contracts. We're talking about image protection agreements that require WWE to present him as a top star regardless of fan reaction, opportunity guarantees that ensure he gets major storylines and championship shots, and most importantly, media representation clauses that mandate his inclusion in all major WWE marketing. The 2K25 cover isn't just a video game decision, it's a contractual requirement that WWE literally cannot avoid without facing massive legal consequences. Roman's lawyers didn't just negotiate a wrestling contract, they negotiated a corporate partnership that makes him untouchable. But here's where it gets really sinister: this contract explains everything. Why Roman got pushed over Daniel Bryan in 2015 despite fan riots. Why he main event 4 straight WrestleManias when crowds were booing him out of buildings. Why he became Universal Champion during the pandemic when no one was asking for it. The most chilling part? WWE's hands are tied. Even if they wanted to push someone else, even if the fans were screaming for change, Roman's contract forces them to keep him in the spotlight. The 2K25 cover is just the latest example of a company being held hostage by their own legal agreements. Let me break down the mountain of evidence that proves Roman Reigns operates under different rules than every other WWE superstar, because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Evidence number 1. The booking protection. Roman has lost clean maybe 5 times in his entire main event run. That's not creative storytelling, that's contractual protection. Sources are telling me his deal includes specific language about how he can be defeated, when he can look weak, and what kind of storylines he can be involved in. Evidence number 2. The media dominance. Every major WWE announcement, every corporate presentation, every mainstream media appearance features Roman prominently. The 2K25 cover is just the latest example. This isn't based on popularity metrics or fan engagement, it's based on contractual obligations that require WWE to position him as their face. Evidence number 3. The financial immunity. Roman's merchandise sales, while decent, don't justify his constant push over more popular stars. But here's the twist. His contract likely includes revenue guarantees that make his actual sales numbers irrelevant. WWE is contractually obligated to treat him like their top seller regardless of reality. Evidence number 4. The creative control. Notice how Roman's character never truly fails? Even when he loses matches, the storyline always positions him as the sympathetic hero or the wrong party. That's not coincidence, that's image protection clauses being enforced by WWE's legal department. The most damning evidence? Look at how WWE handles criticism of Roman versus other stars. When fans reject other wrestlers, WWE pivots quickly. When fans reject Roman, WWE doubles down and pushes him harder. That's not stubbornness, that's legal obligation. Here's what's really terrifying about this situation and why the 2K25 cover reveal is actually a cry for help from WWE corporate. They're being held hostage by a contract they can't escape, and it's destroying their relationship with their own fan base. Think about it from WWE's perspective. You've got CM Punk drawing massive reactions, Cody Rhodes as the beloved champion, and rising stars like Braun Breaker and Tiffany Stratton connecting with audiences, but you're contractually obligated to keep pushing a guy who gets mixed reactions at best. Sources inside WWE are telling me that there's genuine frustration at the corporate level about Roman's contract situation. Executives know that other stars would be better choices for major marketing campaigns, but their hands are tied by legal agreements signed over a decade ago. The 2K25 cover decision reportedly caused heated discussions behind the scenes. 2K Sports wanted to go with Cody Rhodes or CM Punk, stars who are actually over with the current fan base. But WWE's legal department stepped in and reminded everyone about existing contractual obligations that made Roman the only viable option. But here's where it gets really interesting. WWE might be looking for ways out. The fact that they're allowing more criticism of Roman in storylines, the way they've positioned him in recent feuds, even the way they handled his Netflix victory, it all suggests a company trying to fulfill contractual obligations while minimizing the damage to their brand. The most telling sign? Look at how they announced the 2K25 cover. No big celebration, no major media blitz, just a quiet reveal that felt more like an obligation than an achievement. That's a company going through the motions because they have to, not because they want to. What if I told you that WWE has been actively suppressing evidence of fan backlash against Roman Reigns to protect their contractual obligations? What if I told you that the mixed reactions narrative is actually a carefully crafted lie designed to hide the true extent of fan rejection? I've been analyzing crowd audio from recent shows, and here's what's terrifying. WWE has been manipulating sound levels during Roman's entrances and matches to minimize the boos and amplify the cheers. The 2K25 cover announcement comments were heavily moderated, with negative reactions being deleted or shadow banned to create the illusion of support. Sources in WWE's production team are telling me that there are specific protocols for handling Roman's segments. Camera angles that avoid showing negative crowd reactions, audio mixing that emphasizes supportive fans, and social media management that suppresses criticism while promoting positive content. But here's the smoking gun: internal WWE surveys and focus groups reportedly show much higher negative sentiment toward Roman than what's reflected in their public messaging. The company knows he's not as popular as they claim, but they're contractually obligated to maintain the illusion. The most damning evidence? Look at merchandise sales data that occasionally leaks. Roman's numbers, while decent, are nowhere near what you'd expect from someone who's supposedly WWE's biggest star. But his contract likely includes provisions that require WWE to market him as their top seller regardless of actual performance. The 2K25 cover is just the latest example of WWE being forced to promote Roman despite knowing it will generate backlash. They're trapped in a cycle where they have to keep pushing him to fulfill contractual obligations, which generates more fan resentment, which makes future promotional decisions even more difficult. Here's where the conspiracy gets absolutely nuclear, and why the 2K25 cover timing is no coincidence. Roman's secret contract is directly tied to WWE's major media deals, including their $5 billion Netflix agreement. Think about the timeline. Netflix deal announced, Roman immediately becomes prominent in storylines again, wins the Tribal Combat match on Netflix's debut show, and suddenly he's the face of WWE 2K25. That's not creative storytelling, that's contractual synchronization across multiple platforms. Sources familiar with WWE's corporate structure are telling me that Roman's contract includes cross-platform promotion clauses that require his inclusion in all major media initiatives. The Netflix deal, the 2K partnership, mainstream media appearances, Roman's lawyers negotiated guaranteed participation in everything. But here's what makes this truly sinister: WWE's Netflix deal likely includes specific talent commitments, and Roman's contract ensures he's one of those committed talents regardless of his actual popularity or storyline relevance. Netflix isn't just getting WWE content, they're getting contractually guaranteed Roman Reigns content. The 2K25 cover is proof that this cross-platform obligation extends beyond just television. Roman's image rights, marketing participation, and brand representation are locked in across every WWE partnership. The gaming company, the streaming service, the merchandise partners, they're all contractually required to feature Roman prominently. The most chilling realization? This means Roman's push isn't based on creative decisions or fan demand. It's based on legal obligations that span multiple billion-dollar deals. WWE can't pivot away from Roman without potentially violating contracts that could cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. So here's the million-dollar question that's keeping WWE executives awake at night. How do you escape a contract that's destroying your relationship with your fan base while protecting yourself from massive legal consequences? I'm hearing whispers from legal sources that WWE might be looking for creative ways to fulfill Roman's contractual obligations while minimizing the damage to their brand. The 2K25 cover could actually be part of a larger strategy to satisfy his media requirements while quietly reducing his on-screen prominence. Think about it: put Roman on the video game cover to fulfill marketing obligations, but focus the actual gameplay and storylines on more popular characters. Give him the Netflix victory to satisfy cross-platform requirements, but structure future storylines to gradually reduce his centrality to WWE programming. But here's where it gets really interesting: Roman's contract likely has performance clauses or renewal options that could provide WWE with exit opportunities. If fan backlash reaches certain measurable thresholds, if merchandise sales drop below specific targets, or if media partnerships start demanding different talent, WWE might have legal grounds to renegotiate. The most intriguing possibility? What if the 2K25 cover is actually Roman's last major marketing obligation under his current deal? What if WWE is fulfilling their final contractual requirements before transitioning to a new era where creative decisions are based on merit rather than legal obligations? Sources close to the situation suggest that Roman's next contract negotiation could be very different. WWE has learned from their mistake of giving one performer too much guaranteed power, and future deals will likely include more flexibility for the company to make changes based on fan response and business needs. The truth that WWE doesn't want you to know, the secret that explains every confusing decision in Roman's career, is that he's not just a wrestler, he's a corporate asset protected by the most powerful contract in sports entertainment history. The 2K25 cover isn't a reward for his performance or popularity, it's the fulfillment of a legal obligation that WWE cannot avoid without facing massive financial consequences. Roman Reigns isn't untouchable because he's the best wrestler or the most popular star. He's untouchable because his lawyers negotiated a deal that makes him legally bulletproof. But here's the twist that should give every wrestling fan hope. Contracts eventually expire. Legal obligations have endpoints. And WWE's current situation with Roman proves why no performer should ever be given this level of guaranteed protection again. The fan backlash against the 2K25 cover announcement isn't just criticism, it's evidence that WWE's contractual gamble has backfired spectacularly. They traded short-term talent security for long-term fan alienation, and now they're paying the price. When Roman's current deal finally expires, WWE will have learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of giving any performer too much contractual power. The 2K25 cover might be his last guaranteed major marketing appearance and the beginning of an era where WWE's biggest stars earn their positions through fan support rather than legal protection. The secret contract that made Roman Reigns untouchable is also the contract that's slowly destroying his legacy. And the 2K25 cover reveal is proof that even the most powerful legal agreements can't overcome the will of the WWE Universe forever.